Welcome back to the Normandy, where we are now just about to touch base with all of our crew members. Also, last episode, if you didn't notice, it's probably going to be in 720p. That's how I've resolved the whole crashing thing, because I was thinking, since I was forcing Bandicam to record the game in 1920 by 1080, it was causing problems for the system, or for the game, I guess, and causing it to do all sorts of wonky shit. So hopefully now it'll be fixed. Problem is, the videos won't be coming out in 1080p anymore, and will instead be coming out in 720p. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. And I'm probably right, but that's okay. If it means a more stable game, then fuck it. At least the game's running in 60 frames per second. Anyway, Wait, oh yeah, I'm missing something here. Cool. When I was playing this earlier, Presley was standing up on this deck over here, and that crew member directly across from him was standing over here too, on top. God, that was weird. But should be okay now. I think it's important to touch base with all the crew members too. It's important in these games and in real life too. You want to know who has your back. Definitely do. Am I missing anything? No. Okay. Joker.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
Sure you want that, Joker?
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
Well, first of all, how about a status report?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Okay. How about some questions then?
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
What?
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Tell me about your disease. Seems a little bit insensitive right now. Tactless. But how'd you get your nickname?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Were you unhappy? Well, no shit. But he was determined, I bet. Well, going with the character Shepard, who is inquisitive to the point where you just want to punch her in the face sometimes. Yeah, sure, tell me about your disease.
I need to know more about this Vrolik syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures. Hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb.
Ooh.
100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
Okay, fine. I won't.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
Yeah, see you. Alright. Now for the next person. Do 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 do. And now we are probably. Oh well, since we're here anyway, let's head into the med bay. Hello, Dr. Chakwas. In the back, you say? Okay.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
Yeah. How you holding up?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
Yeah, well, she is the best.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
You're welcome.
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Well, we just met her, and Shepard is not the quickest to trust anybody. But she will say, "We'll see." She's not gonna say, "I know," but she's probably gonna say, "We'll see." And she's kind of silently goading Liara into doing what she promises. Yeah. Even though she won't outright say, "Oh, I believe you."
Promises are easy to make, but hard to keep.
I do not begrudge you your suspicions. I just hope in time you will come to trust me.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you about Benezia then.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
You sound troubled about that.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me.
It's a bit soft.
I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something changed.
Well, Shepard is actually pretty interested about Asari culture. She's never actually interacted with one at length like this.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like
what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
How does that work?
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
And what about the other parent?
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
And what about the age difference? Oh, who was your father? It's a bit too forward even for Shepard right now.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Oh, well, now I'm interested. Who was your father?
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
And you don't know who?
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Yeah, well, that's actually an interesting thing for me, because when I first played this game, every story or piece of literature before this, purebloods traditionally are held in the highest regard, you know. So it was really interesting for me at the time to play this game and learn that in this world, for Asari, at least, purebloods are calling someone a pureblood is considered the greatest insult, which is whoa, no way, you know, at the time. Okay, so then why did she do it?
Why agree to the union if she didn't want any children?
I cannot answer that. This is all speculation on my part. It is possible she wanted to be part of my life, but something happened to her before she had the chance. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Well, that's pretty interesting, actually. Well, thank you, Liara. It was nice talking to you.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
They gave Liara like the best facial motion capture in the game. And not, to foreshadow, I guess, what'll happen. Liara is my favorite character in the game. She is, in this game at least, kind of one-dimensional, and my teenager self really, really, really liked Liara. And I learned to like the versions of Liara in later games too, as an adult. And so if that foreshadows anything that will happen in the future, then so be it. Garrus is the close second, really. And just to let you guys know, full disclosure, whether I was going to be male Shep or Fen Shep, it was gonna happen anyway. Just so you guys know. Anyway, let's go talk to Kaidan. Oh god, that slow walk whenever you talk to Kaidan.
Commander?
And then he and then he wipes his brow. Just it's like the beginning of a sci-fi porn or something. Okay. Whew. Okay. For what, Lieutenant?
What's on your mind, Lieutenant?
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
So what do you expect me to do about it then?
We've got our orders. Belly aching won't change them.
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. I mean, it's funny, we finally get out here, and the final frontier was already settled. And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
So, like I said about our shepherd in the earlier videos, she is quite dense in the ways of romance. And so when she says something like, oh, that's a cute way to look at it, right? She says it without the express purpose of flirting, but to some people they perceive it as her flirting with them. So she is, yeah, it's gonna be that way, guys.
Well, well, you're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Malenko? Secure a man's future in space?
Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid, where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves, or, you know, for justice. Or maybe I was a romantic in the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp. Biotic acclimation and temperance training. I'm not looking for the dream. I just want to do some good. See what's out here. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
You know, since our shepherd is a biotic, I kind of wish she had some different dialogue when it comes to this stuff, because I'm assuming she would have gone to brain camp as well, but apparently our shepherd didn't. Yeah, she's gonna ask him questions about brain camp.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to Element Zero in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Ooh, that's rough. What was the survival rate?
Seems like you beat the odds. How many didn't make it?
Out of 100, maybe 60 have no effect. 30 suffer adverse effects, little things like brain cancer. The other 10 show enough ability to augment with implants. Not always permanent, though. Not like the cancer. Next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero. I mean, how's a kid supposed to deal with that? A station at the edge of human space.
Tell me more about Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
You have any friends at Jump Zero?
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
That must have given you guys time to do some sexy time then,
You were all teenagers. I'm sure you found other ways to occupy the time.
I'm not the sort who does that kind of thing, Commander. Not lightly, anyway. There was a girl I spent a lot of time with, but we kept our clothes on. Rana. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. Like you, I guess.
Yeah, and Shepard's just going like, huh? Really? Oh, then you must have loved her then.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
And you said something about intentional exposures a while ago.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Jump Zero's a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. Anyway, this was supposed to be a casual debrief, not a bull session about stuff that happened years ago.
Yeah, well, I like to know the people that have my back.
We have to depend on each other in combat. I like knowing what kind of man I have at my back.
I understand, ma'am. I won't let you down. You, make a habit of getting this personal with everyone?
No, just you. What do you think? To some degree, yeah, sure.
Of course. But I don't enjoy it with everyone. We'll talk again later.
I'll need some time to process that, Commander. But, yeah, I'd like that.
Perfect example. She's going, oh yeah, sure. You know, I enjoy talking to everybody, and Kaiden's all, oh, hey. Oh my. Oh my, Kaiden. He's a little bit too forward there. But Shepard doesn't get it. Alright, now time to head to the lower decks. Now Shepard's got them hips though, damn. She works out. That is 100% certain. Okay. Alright, let's talk to our requisitions officer first.
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
Surprise.
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Yeah, what are you talking about, pay you?
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
How do you get new items then?
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased. But I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless.
Okay.
And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check
Cool.
back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
Alright, show me.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Uh-huh. This I might actually consider buying. It is... shields are quite a bit better. 14.9 and less accurate. Nope, don't want it. Not worth it. This though, and then I can give the one I'm wearing to Liara. Yeah, I think I'll do it. Yeah, cool. And yeah, shield regenerator. Sounds good. Sounds good. The Mako.
Commander, nice work out there.
Thank you.
I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
You know?
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. But CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
You shouldn't complain.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
Yeah, that was your reason for leaving?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It's didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape.
Sorry.
C-Sec's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
You get over it.
It's not the end of the world. You'll have tougher decisions soon enough.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without C-Sec headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
You know what? That sounds good to me.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Yep. Of course, Garrus. I really like that armor. And I really hate that yellow-white crap that you wear. Rex.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Ah, come on, don't be an ass.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That is quite unfortunate, actually.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
No, they did not.
It's not the same.
Great way to drop the ball in the conversation there, Shepard. Stub a few toes. Great. Auteur of conversation you are. Clap, 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 clap. Of course it is. Sure it is. It isn't.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
That's stupid, because we learned about this from Avina, for the most part. Yeah, I see your point.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Touchy subject. I won't.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
I see. Well, what do you know more about the genophage, maybe?
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Really?
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Yeah, you know, like that news report we heard back on the Citadel of the Krogan group trying to find a cure for the genophage. They got screwed over by Exogeny, was it? I mean, they could do that, but obviously they got screwed, so... Alright. So long, Rex.
So long, Rex.
There you go.
Shepard.
Shepard. Hold on. Does it happen?
Shepard.
Rex?
I had to do it. I had to do it. Oh yeah. Go. Cool. Actually, yeah, even better. Even better. How are we doing on... We're not doing all that great. Give you... Basic rounds sounds good. Tally, we equipped her. Rex, do we have any armor for you? Medium armor, that sucks. Nope, apparently not. Garrus. God damn it. So bad, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be using Kaidan or Ashley. Sorry, guys, if you guys like them.
Commander?
How are we doing?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
It might not actually matter.
Not everyone has a happy family life.
No, I guess not. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. So, can we talk?
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was hoping to get a minute of your time off the record.
Oh yeah, what about?
Is this duty-related, Chief?
No, ma'am. Well, maybe. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vakarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
You mean because they're aliens?
You don't trust their motives because they're not human.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
Ah, well, can't confine them. I mean, come on.
I'm not gonna lock them in sleeper pods for the whole trip, Williams.
I'd be more comfortable if they didn't have access to engineering and the CIC. We, humanity, I mean, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
By mistrusting our allies?
How do you get from relying on ourselves to mistreating our allies?
I don't mean we should mistreat them, Commander. I just think we should be prepared to go it without them. As noble as the council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
I mean, I would say it's the same for us as well.
Yeah, the council's had a grudge against us since the first contact war.
I don't think it's a grudge.
Well,
I think it's... Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it.
Wrong dialogue choice there,
As much as
sorry.
you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be
Should
more
be more
important
careful
to them
about
than humans
that.
are.
Most of their species are always more fun than humans are. Why do you feel that?
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, ma'am. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for
Weird
training.
cuts.
Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
Just one rotation?
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens.
Tell me about your family.
I never knew my family. Grew up an orphan on Earth. Anybody in your family I'd have heard of?
Couldn't say, Commander. So why are you out here? Just trying to get away from Earth?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you?
Earth's seen better days. Lots of pollution, too many people. People are trying to fix it, but...
But right now, it's not the best place to be. I guess without a family, you had no reason to stay.
Bingo. Look. I get where you're coming from. I really do.
Alright, I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're gonna have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
Good.
I'm glad there won't be a problem.
Anything else you need, Commander?
No, not really.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I made the wrong dialogue choice there. Shit. Whoopsie whoops. Should really be more careful about that. Okay. And Engineer Adams.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
She bothering you?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Yeah, she is pretty useful.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You've got an eye for Tali, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Not exactly. Well, I'd like to know more about the Normandy from an engineering perspective.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Drive core?
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Well, tell me about this stealth system.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
So we are quote-unquote invisible.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Well, it would actually make sense why, you would be, from what he said so far, why FTL would give us away, so she's not gonna ask that. Alright, let's move on to some personal questions then.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
FTL, lots of energy. Shepard just put 2 and 2 in her head. Okay, carry on, Adams.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Oh, shit. Now, time to talk to Tali.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Well, this ship is special.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
So you're into ships then?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Oh, it's 300 years ago.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me more about your people.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Like?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
I'm assuming that's some sort of government.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
You know, you're democratic, I take it.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
That's actually pretty impressive compared to our government. Well, tell me about the Geth, yeah? You probably know more than the average person.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Entertain me.
Interesting.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Isn't that legal, though? Isn't it?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Neural network. So Shepard doesn't actually know what the neural network is, so yeah, why don't you tell me about the neural network?
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Like a hive mind, maybe, then.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Well, Does Shepard get it? But when they're in close proximity, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought. Huh.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
Okay.
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose?
Ooh.
As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I imagine they shat their pants. So what happened next?
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Yeah, well, I guess what did you expect?
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
They defended themselves, searching right. No. As I said before, any opinion on slaughter, mass genocide, essentially on that size is messy business. Much like how Shepard stubbed their toes for talking to Rex over there. Well, tell me more about your pilgrimages.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Do they always accept?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Sounds quite dangerous then if you're trying to come back with something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Okay.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Like bye.
I should go.
That's so
See you later.
A++ writing. A++.